Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with apparent favor and blessings as your servants whom you've been pleased to call in leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. So, clerk, if you may read the order in the business paper.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from chair.
Thank you, honorable members. This afternoon I have one communication to make, and this is in regard to County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 and the County Debt Management Strategy Paper 2024. So on February 24th, 2024, 27th February 2024, the County Executive Member for Finance and Economic Planning forwarded to the Office of the Clerk the County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024 and the County Debt Management Strategy Paper 2024. This is in compliance with Section 117 Part 1 and Section 123 Part 1 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. I hereby commit the said papers to the Committee on Budget and Appropriation Committee for scrutiny and consideration. So, dear Budget and your members, please note, and this document has timelines. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Eric B., the Chair for Health, you have a status report on NHIF, and also you have two other statements. So begin by giving us the status of the NHIF before you talk about the other statements.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity just to table the status on the statement which was raised by Honorable Vincent Korir. And the statement was regarding to NHIF. So, Mr. Speaker, allow me just to begin with the report. Actually, the report is almost complete. You're only going through other recommendation, awaiting the response from the department. So, Mr. Speaker, first, it was asking about the statement was asking about how much money is reimbursed by the county government as a claim from the NHIF, and the response for the same, Mr. Speaker, is that as per the executive, that is the department, Mr. Speaker, National Insurance Funds is a Kenya government state corporation with a mandate to provide health insurance to Kenyans. It is established in 1966 as a department within the Ministry of Health by Act of Parliament. This has been reviewed over the years, and it is now governed by Act of 1998, National Health Insurance Funds. The mandate of NHIF is to provide accessible, affordable, sustainable, and quality insurance for all Kenyans. So you go to objective of NHIF. Objective is to increase revenue collection in the country. Number 2, to engage and educate customers on the importance of insurance. Number 3, to enhance operational excellence. And lastly, to build high performance culture. Mr. Speaker, there are also challenges facing NHIF in the country. And of course, if it is the country, it goes through within our county. So there was inadequate funding that has led to delay in provision of payment and shortage of funds for critical operations. Mr. Speaker, there is also loss of resources due to cap and fraud, that is abuses. Number 3 is lack of knowledge on medical insurance cover. 4 is poor functioning of health information system. Mr. Speaker, on the said, that is as per the questions asked by Honorable Vincent Corrit, we actually made a provision observation, and I'll start with the Committee on Health Service made the following observation on the statement raised by Honorable Vincent Corrit, that most of the health facilities have exceeded the set targets of NHIF claims and rebates. Number 2 observation, Mr. Speaker, is that NHIF rebates constitutes more than 50% of revenue raised by the health service token. Number 3, all the registered pregnant mothers are covered by Linda Mama, and the CEC in charge of health service responded that statement precisely to the high points. Mr. Speaker, lastly, I will go through the recommendation. The committee, of course, I have said these are provisional recommendation, and we shall come up all full recommendation in the scheduled time. So, Mr. Speaker, of course, in the provision of report, we saw that the county executive committee in charge of health services should liaise with the relevant authorities for sensitization of Linda Mama. Of course, you've heard that our mothers are not aware about the program, and there's need for the county in charge of member in charge of health to do sensitization. Number 2, the department also should give a proper accountability on the Linda Mama fund, Mr. Speaker. And then number 3, the Department of Health should equip level 1 and level 2 facilities with laptops and computers to enroll the patient using NHIF. Mr. Speaker, thank you. That is a provision, a status of NHIF regard to question raised by Honorable Vincent Corrit. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'll give a second chance to raise the other statements you had.
Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, for giving me also an opportunity just to raise a statement. Pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act of 2012 on the County Assembly, Standing Order number 48, I wish to seek the statement from the Committee on Trade and Industrialization on 1, description of Nyagacho market land and demarcation details of the said parcel of land. That is number 1. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, is whether there are any encroachment on the said parcel of land. If any, just provide for the same. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, and the last is that what the respective department of land and industrialization have land, housing and industrialization has done regard to the encouragement of the said land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is my first statement. Can I go to the second statement?
No, take your seat first. That is the Committee on Trade. So you have Chair Trade amongst us. You're a member of Committee on Lands. So given the request of the statement, give us the number of days you require for record purposes. We will review the statement before the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy that the statement is before the House. As a committee, we had made a visit to the market few months ago, and indeed we realized maybe there is some encroachment of the land that belongs to the market. We only need 14 days because already we have a report that we are yet to compile. So at least now that the statement is here, we'll put together and give this House within 14 days a requisite report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, that is noted. So 14 days, you have to have the type of report before the House. Honorable Eric B., your second statement.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for an opportunity also to raise another statement. Pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act 2012 and Kericho County Assembly Standing Order number 48, I wish to seek statement from the Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning. Regard number 1, whether the department has designated an area for mechanics who operate in the town. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, whether the mechanics have been consulted on the move to designated area, that is at the moment. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, when the mechanics are expected to be relocated to designated area, if any. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. That statement touches on Committee on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning. The chair is here. Please respond to number of days required to give us a response before the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity you have given me, Mr. Speaker. The statement squarely lies on our mandate, Mr. Speaker, considering that municipality lies within squarely in our department, and the statement sorted is on the response through municipal. So we request for 14 days, Honorable Speaker. We'll have deliberated, compile a report, and bring back to the floor of the House.
All right, that is granted. 14 days given for this House to respond to that statement raised by Honorable B. Next, we have a statement by Honorable Peter Kemoy. You can raise your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I think I have two statements. But, the first one is pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act 2012 and Kericho County Assembly Standing Order number 48-1, I wish to seek a statement from the Committee of Health Services concerning Kake to dispensary toilet on the following issues. 1, the name of the contractor who did the works and list of the directors of the company. 2, the bill of quantities of the said toilet. 3, the total amount allocated to the project. 4, is the contractor fully paid? Is there any pending bill? 5, who supervised the construction of the said project? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Chair Health, is he around? Chair Health, yes. Honorable B. Give us the timeline of this statement response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to request for 14 days to respond to the said statement. Thank you.
All right, that is granted. So you have 14 days to respond to the statement raised by Honorable Peter Kemoy. Honorable Peter Kemoy, your second statement.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Pursuant to Section 9 of the County Government Act 2012 and Kericho County Assembly Standing Order number 48-1, I wish to seek a statement from the Committee on Education and Child Welfare on the following issues concerning Borborwet and Samituk ECDE centers. 1, the bill of quantities of the ECDE classrooms. 2, the names of the contractors of the said projects and the directors of these companies. 3, if the contractor were fully paid. 4, what was the total cost of the ECDE classroom? Number 5, is there any pending bill to the said project? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Peter Kemoy. Chair Committee on Education or any other member. I can see yes. welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we are requesting for 14 days.
All right, 14 days granted to do the statements for Committee on Education. So just not all the statements raised today must be responded within 14 days has been directed in this House. So I think we are done with statements. Clerk, the next order.
Order number 8, motion by Chairman of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement Committee.
Chair Lance, it's your time to move the motion.
Once again, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity you have granted me, Honorable Speaker, so that I can move a motion that this House approves the reports of Lands, Housing and Physical Planning and Settlement Committee on the nomination of Miss Mercy Chepkorir Mutai to be to the position of member Kericho Municipal Board, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on 4th of October, Honorable Speaker, His Excellency Dr. Eric Mutai, Governor Kericho County, Mr. Speaker, for that letter for the nomination of Mercy Chepkorir Mutai of ID number 29528551 to the Kericho Municipal Board member, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the position, the letter read that in reference made to the above, the untimely demise of former member of the Kericho Municipal Board, the late Stanley Mutai, I hereby for the name of Ms. Mercy Chepkorir Mutai for consideration by the County Assembly for subsequent appointment as a member of Kericho Municipal Board, pursuant to Section 9 of Urban Areas and Cities Act, Amendment of number 3 of 2019. The nomination will also be in compliance with the World Bank Fund condition on gender balance requirement, Mr. Speaker. That is an annexure number 1 on which Honorable Governor forwarded a letter for nomination, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, will allow me, Mr. Speaker, to start on continue on page 2. That on the same note, Mr. Speaker, committal, the same was committed to the House. The Honorable Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho, through a communication delivered to the House on 22nd November 2023, informed the House that he had received a notification of the nomination of Ms. Mercy Mutai to the position of Kericho Municipal Board and committed the same to the Committee on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning and Settlement for the consideration and reporting to the House, Mr. Speaker. So on that same day, Mr. Speaker, it was committed to our committee for deliberation, Mr. Speaker. And that is the motion of the reports that we are moving today, Mr. Speaker. And the deliberation is that we started by pre-approval committee hearing, Mr. Speaker, that the committee held a meeting in preparation for approval hearing on 13 December 2023. The background information of the creation of Kericho Municipal Board. At the Kericho County Assembly, in a special sitting on 29 December 2017, approved an integrated strategic urban plan and charter for Kericho Town and local physical development plan for Kericho Town, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that was a strategic urban development plan which created the municipality, Mr. Speaker. The approval hearing was guided by the following laws, Mr. Speaker: the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Urban Areas and Cities Act Amendment of 2019, the County Government Act number 17 of 2012. The Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017. And number 5, Mr. Speaker, is the Kericho County Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act of 2014. And number 6, Mr. Speaker, is the Kericho County Assembly Standing Order number 205, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, submission of Mercy Chepkorir nominee for the position is that on 4th October 2023, the Kericho County Governor forwarded the name of Mercy Chepkorir as I had read on an extra 1 for the appointment as member Kericho Municipal Board representing our private sector, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the approval process is detailed in Section 7 of the Public Appointment of the County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017. Following the receipt of the notification nomination, the Speaker is required to report to the County Assembly. This was done on 22nd November 2023. Thereafter, the notification was committed to Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning as per the Standing Order number 205, Mr. Speaker. Notification to the public, Mr. Speaker, which is a very critical element, is that the Clerk of the County Assembly, Mr. Martin Ebus Patrick, notified the public on the nomination of Ms. Mercy Mutai, Fight the Daily Nation. The approval hearing was held at the County Assembly Chambers on 13 December 2023. What are the requirements, Mr. Speaker, of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya? As per Daily Nation newspaper advertised inviting the nominee for approval hearing, it was a requirement that a clearance certificate from the following institution be submitted. And she submitted, Mr. Speaker, where we will find those submissions. We have annex number 2. One was the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, which is annexed. The second is the Kenya Revenue Authority, which is clearance, which is annex P again. The Higher Education Loan Board, annex 2, Mr. Speaker, is one of the requirements. The Criminal Investigation Department and the Credit Reference Bureau is another annexed, Mr. Speaker. What is the criteria for the approval hearing? In conducting the approval hearing, Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning examined the nominee against the criteria among as others as set out in Section 14 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act, Amendment of 2012. The set criteria are as follows, Mr. Speaker. Section 14 of the Urban Areas and Cities Act, which is the amendment of 2014, amendment of 2019, of all the 9 members of the municipal board, at least 4 shall be nominated by, Mr. Speaker, 1, the umbrella body representing professional association within the area. Mr. Speaker, it's a mandate that out of those, Mr. Speaker, 1 umbrella body of a professionals, 8 engineers, 8 architects, 8 accountants, Mr. Speaker, should submit 1 professional to the body, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, an association representing the private sector in an area, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in an area, Mr. Speaker, there is always a government, and there is always a non-governmental organization, and there is private organization, Mr. Speaker. So the association of private sector, Mr. Speaker, again are mandated to submit 1 name under their umbrella. There is number 3, Mr. Speaker, is a cluster representing registered association of informal sector in an area. Every informal sector, Mr. Speaker, has an association like the Tuakalis, the Mamambogas. Those are informal association. Mr. Speaker, number 4 is a cluster representing registered neighborhood association in an area. Mr. Speaker, there is a registered area like the Nyagacho, like Pichini, like those named them, Mr. Speaker. Those are registered neighborhoods. In every area, Mr. Speaker, there is a neighborhood which they should have a representation. Number B, Mr. Speaker, a person shall not be appointed as a member of municipal board unless that person, 1, Mr. Speaker, holds at least a diploma from recognized institution of Kenya. is ordinarily a resident or a permanent or as a permanent dwelling within municipality, Mr. Speaker, has a distinguished career in medium-level management position in either private or public sector. Number 4, has at least 5 years post-qualification professional experience. Number 5, satisfied the requirement of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 6, carries a business within the municipality or has lived in the municipality for at least 5 years, Mr. Speaker. Those requirements are self-explanatory. And the additional criteria stated below are the requirement with respect to Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya. Number C, provision of clearance certificate from relevant authorities with regard to Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya, which I had initially said the annex, which is the tax compliance certificate from Kenya Revenue Authority, clearance certificate from Higher Education Loan Board, a certificate of good conduct from Department of Criminal Investigation. Number 4 is application form from Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And last but not the least is a clearance certificate from Credit Revenue Bureau, and it is annexed, Mr. Speaker. Submission of the petition. Section 7, subsection 10 of the Public Appointment of the County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, Mr. Speaker, provide that any person may, prior to the approval hearing and by a written statement on oath, provide the clerk with evidence contesting the suitability of a candidate to all office to which the candidate has been nominated. The members of the public were invited to give information in writing through oath regarding the nominee. No petition was received contesting the suitability of that candidate, Mr. Speaker. The approval hearing of the nominee, Mr. Speaker, Section 14, subsection 2C of the Urban Areas and Cities Act of 2013, Mr. Speaker, requires the governor to appoint a member who has been nominated by the association to serve as a municipal board member. Section 14, subsection 3B further gives association for such nomination, and this case is the private sector. On 5th October 2023, the governor voted the name of Mercy Chepkorir Mutai to serve as a board member representing the private sector. The Speaker, Ms. Mercy was governor's appointee representing the private sector, Mr. Speaker. Board of Municipalities, subsection 14.2 of the Urban and Area Cities Act states that the members of the Board of Municipality shall be constituted as follows. 1, the county executive committee responsible for cities and urban areas or its representative. That is 1. Number 2 is 3 members who shall be appointed by governor with approval of the county assembly. And 1 is Ms. Mercy, Mr. Speaker. The third category, Mr. Speaker, are 4 members who shall be nominated by the association and appointed by the county governor with approval of the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. Number 4 is the chief officer responsible for urban development. In this case, Mr. Speaker, is a CEO, chief officer in the department, Mr. Speaker. Number 5 is an ex officio, which is the town manager, the municipal manager appointed under Section 28, who shall be secretary of the board and ex officio member of the board, Mr. Speaker. That constitutes now to municipal board members. The 4 members of the board of the municipality specified under subsection 2 shall be appointed by an umbrella body representing professional association in the area, I had earlier elaborated, an association representing the private sector in the area, a cluster representing association of informal sector in the area, a cluster representing registered neighborhood in the area. Ms. Mercy Mutai of identification number 29528551 appeared before the Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning on 13 December 2023 and was examined under the oath and approval hearing commenced as per the Constitution, County Assembly Act of 2012, Public Appointment, County Assembly Approval Act of 2017, and the County Assembly Standing Orders. Date and place of birth. The nominee is a Kenyan citizen born on 18 April 1991 in Kericho East District, She is a resident of Kapsaos Ward, Kericho County. Academic qualification. The nominee is a graduate of the Catholic University of East Africa with bachelor's of laws, and she is currently undertaking Masters of Science in Human Resource Management at Kenyatta University. Integrity, Mr. Speaker. The same at the time of approval hearing, the nominee was required to provide the Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning with a clearance document with regard to Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya. The nominee submitted tax compliance certificate from the Kenya Revenue Authority valid up to 13 December 2024. The nominee provided the committee with the certificate serial number 613370 from Higher Education Loans Board and dated 14 December 2023. The Director of Criminal Investigation issued the nominee with a police clearance certificate, reference MYOG 43 dated 4 December 2023. The nominee attached the leadership and integrity form of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission dated 4 December 2023. The nominee provided clearance certificate of Metropole, serial number MCRB/C 327, valid up to 14 December 2023, and all of them are annexed, Mr. Speaker. The Committee of Salvation on Suitability of Ms. Mercy Chepkorir Mutai for the approval for appointment as a member of Kericho Municipal Board. The committee, having considered the criteria as provided by the Urban Areas and Cities Act Amendment of 2019, a curriculum vitae, and having here a oral submission during the approval hearing interview, made the following observation on its suitability for appointment as a member of Kericho Municipal Board. 1, the nominee was a Kenyan citizen. 2, that the nominee is ordinarily a resident or as a permanent dwelling within the municipality, which they do business in Brook, and they coming within the area. That the nominee carries a business of a private school in municipal and live in the municipality for over 4 years. Ms. Mercy Mutai, Honorable Speaker, is a director of Mamba Academy, which is situated in Brook. So that is an evidence. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, the nominee has a degree in law from she has a degree.
Honorable Chief Whip, you are out of order. Please, if you want to make calls, please excuse yourself. Proceed.
The nominee has a degree in law. Number 5, that the nominee provided all the clearance certificate as required by in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 20 about leadership, integrity, and relevant authorities during the time of approval. Mr. Speaker, the general understanding of the mandate of municipal board. Mr. Speaker, the nominee impressed the committee on her vast knowledge on the working of the municipal board. She gave a detailed understanding on how the working of the municipal can be improved to address the issue of drainages, land encroachment, fraudulent grabbers, garbage collection, town planning, and even beautification of town. She proved to have knowledge on Urban Areas and Cities Act and the Municipal Charter as guiding tool for the function of the municipal board. She clearly articulated the problem aiding the municipality of Kericho and how the same could be solved. With regard to garbage collection, she pointed out the need to segregate the different types of waste and to undertake waste recycling, Mr. Speaker. What are the committee's recommendations, Mr. Speaker? As a committee, we recommend the following, Mr. Speaker, that Land, Housing and Physical Committee, after lengthy deliberation, recommended approval of the nominee to the Kericho Lieutenant Municipal Board for the following reason, Mr. Speaker. These are the reasons which made us to approve that the nominee submitted all the documents, all the clearance certificates to the committee as required by the Chapter 6, Mr. Speaker. That the nominee performed well during the vetting and oral interview. Number 3, that the fact that no petition has been received from the Umbrella Association demonstrates the confidence on the nominee and the Umbrella Association identified, Mr. Speaker. That the Lands, Housing and Physical Planning Committee recommends Ms. Chepkorir Mutai to be approved as municipal board member. Mr. Speaker, we wish to allow me to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning for their invaluable input and contribution during deliberation, and the Speaker and Clerk of the County Assembly of Kericho for their logistic support accorded to the committee during approval hearing. On behalf of the Committee on Land, Mr. Speaker, Physical Passion to Public Appointment County Assemblies Act number 5 of 2017, at the provision of Standing Order number 205, it's my place and duty to present to this House the committee's report for approval hearing of Ms. Mercy Chepkurui Mutai, the appointment to the position of municipal board member. Mr. Speaker, before you allow me to call the seconder of the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Maybe before you do that, the chair is a bit lost on recommendation number 4.0. You seem to have, in your report, I've been talking about Kericho Municipal Board, but on 4.0, you have said Kericho and Litein Municipal Board. So the chair, I'm lost. Could you clarify? 4.0 on recommendation?
Oh, yeah.
You have mentioned Kericho and Litein, so the chair is not sure whether
sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Could you clarify before you...
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I think it is a typo error, Mr. Speaker. It should be the Land, Housing, Physical Planning Committee, after lengthy deliberation, recommended the approval of nominee for Kericho Municipal Board for following reason. So we will, I think it was a typo. We expand the word Litein from the...
All right, you may proceed.
Yeah. So, Mr. Speaker, to be for the board, municipal board to function, Mr. Speaker, it must be fully constituted, Mr. Speaker. And as we are speaking, Mr. Speaker, it isn't fully constituted due to the demise of one Stanley Mutai, Mr. Speaker, who was representing the private sector, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, it necessitated, Mr. Speaker, the governor to send the name of Ms. Mercy Mutai for nomination of the said to fill that vacant, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for us, Mr. Speaker, we need a fully constituted municipal board because, Mr. Speaker, we are now adding to KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker. And one of the requirements of World Bank money, which is KUSUP 2, Mr. Speaker, is that for the board to optimally work, Mr. Speaker, we need to have a fully constituted board, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, during our that is what necessitated the governor to do so. And during our approval hearing, Mr. Speaker, we interrogated one Ms. Mutai, Mr. Speaker, and she's a young youth lawyer, Mr. Speaker, who understands the roles of a municipal board, Mr. Speaker, and she had will of experience because she's a resident. She was born within the municipality, Mr. Speaker. She has studied within the municipality. She does business within the municipality, and she works within the municipality, Mr. Speaker. Is one of the legal advisors to one of the biggest investment in this town, Mr. Speaker, Imarisha Sacco, Mr. Speaker. And with all the will of experience, Mr. Speaker, she could demonstrate on how she will impact positively to the board, Mr. Speaker. In fact, it reached a time, Mr. Speaker, during our oral submission, Mr. Speaker, we did ask her about the famous tissue factory, Mr. Speaker, and she enumerated clearly that it is the factory should not be situated there because the establishment in this town and any development, Mr. Speaker, is guided by the master plan, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, she understands, and that is why we ask her what is the best thing, what is that one thing will come and do if you are given this opportunity, Mr. Speaker. She said that I will be the engine behind on advising the board on legal matters and interpretation of this act, Mr. Speaker, because she understands the acts and the law clearly, Mr. Speaker. So that is why, Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we saw it fit to approve her because she has what it takes, Mr. Speaker. And we urge this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, to support this report, Mr. Speaker, and to approve her. So once we approve, she'll take up her position, and the board will be fully constituted. It will be workable board, and we will be ready to receive the World Bank money, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, allow me to end there by urging these honorable members to support this motion and to call one Ms. Bafina, Honorable Bafina Serem, to second this motion.
Honorable Bavina. Thank you. So, honorable members, I now propose the question that this House approves the report of Lands, Housing and Fiscal Planning and Settlement Committee on the nomination of Ms. Mercy Chepkorir Mutai to the position of member to the Municipal Board. Honorable Eric B.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me a second opportunity just to comment on the report on the nomination of Mrs. Mercy Chepkorir Mutai, the position of the member of Municipality Board. Mr. Speaker, first of all, may me thank the HEPO chair. I think he has been the most active member in this assembly in terms of report, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the records for the last 2 consecutive weeks, he has been presenting so nicely in this House. And today also, Mr. Speaker, he was able to give us a report on time for the nomination of Mercy Chepkorir to the Municipal Board. Mr. Speaker, I have 2, 3 reasons, Mr. Speaker, to support this report. One is that Mercy Chepkorir is a legal practitioner, Mr. Speaker. She has knowledge in legal, and when you look at the municipality, there are several issues touching municipality in terms of land grabbing. There are so many incidents whereby you find within the municipality, Mr. Speaker, there are so many encroachers who have taken the government money, lands. And I want to state it only, Mr. Speaker, that if we give this opportunity, Mercy, who is a legal officer, she will be able to guide us in terms of litigation pertaining the land grabbers, Mr. Speaker. And we shall be able to reclaim our taken lands from these land grabbers, Mr. Speaker. So I think looking at the knowledge she has when it comes to legal issues, Mr. Speaker, she is going to guide the municipality well. And also, Mr. Speaker, secondly, is that when it comes to the planning, she also has knowledge in terms of planning of town. If you look at the municipality, Mr. Speaker, as at now, there are so many facade placements of houses, Mr. Speaker, and being this is the agenda of His Excellency the President and His Excellency the Governor, I think, Mr. Speaker, we need to plan this town. There are so many things which need to be put on board so that when you look at the planning and the construction of the houses within town, she is going to guide also the municipality. Of course, we know the municipality is not only town, Mr. Speaker, it touches even Kapsuser going to Kapsoit. And when you go towards Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, you've seen several houses settling, coming up along the road, Mr. Speaker. So I think giving an opportunity to this Mercy Chepkorir, she's going to guide the municipality, Mr. Speaker, in terms of planning. And Mr. Speaker, also as a person who lives within the municipality, Mr. Speaker, and she's a lady, Mr. Speaker, she's going to balance all the gender issues, and being the 2/3 gender roles has been the rule of the day, Mr. Speaker. I think she is the one going to pursue even the Mama Mboga who are working within town, Mr. Speaker, to be given space so that they can do business, Mr. Speaker, because those are the people we rely on, and more so being a mother, and a mother is a nation, Mr. Speaker. So I think I have those three reasons to support the approval of Mercy Chepkorir municipality, Mr. Speaker. And we want to say sorry for the loss of Mutai. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the report.
Honorable Aaron Rotich. Then I'll give to Honorable, yes, in that order. I'll give the sequence.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to support the report that has been tabled by our able chairman, the Honorable Israel Ngetich. And Mr. Speaker, first I want to appreciate the work that was done, properly done by the Honorable Committee on Lands Physical Planning. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the nomination and the approval by this House of the nominee Mercy Chepkorir Mutai will be a game changer, Mr. Speaker. Now that we have all seen that Mercy, she's a mother, a wife, someone who will represent gender, the same committee, the same board, Mr. Speaker, and again, she's also she's also a youth, whom she is about 33 years old, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, having said that, we've gone through her resume, is it resume or the CV, and probably all the documents that were attached, Mr. Speaker, is up to date. I want to say that the same municipality, Mr. Speaker, touches up to my ward, and therefore, having noted that Mercy has a legal background, Mr. Speaker, I want to say she'll be of great help. Now that in Kapsuser, Mr. Speaker, there has been a lot of issues pertaining the issue of lands. Most of the houses there, Mr. Speaker, have actually encroached. So far as we speak, I've got about five people who have actually encroached on the road touching from the main highway, that is from Kapsuser, all the way to Chinjoni, that is Slaughterhouse, Mr. Speaker. I believe with the able guidance from Mercy, Mr. Speaker, I think it would be a game changer, and I would be able to do my good people a very nice road cutting through the market of Kapsuser. Mr. Speaker, the second thing, Mr. Speaker, I want to also thank the Honorable, the appointing authority, Mr. Speaker, is that we've been told Mercy also is currently partaking a master's degree in HR. Mr. Speaker, there has been a problem, especially the issues about recruitment of the said staff to the to the said board. Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm that now that Mercy will also be joining in and probably giving his advice or her advice, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this is the right person for this job. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I want to say we wish Mercy all the best. Now that I'm urging all other members probably to support the said report and Mercy to start her work probably come Monday. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support the report. Karibu.
Honorable Ari Langat, and Honorable Weldon Raganji to follow next.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance also to support this motion on nomination of Mrs. Mercy Chepkorir Mutai to the position of member of Kericho Municipality Board. Firstly, we still remember our fallen hero, that is Stanley Mutai, who also showed, who was an active member and a dedicated member of the municipal board. May he still rest in peace. I extend gratitude too to the Committee on Lands, led by our APO chair, uh, Majority Emeritus Ezron Ngetich, for doing a very good job. As you described, while you were going through this report, I felt that this is the right person to join the or to replace one Stanley Mutai, the deceased. And I have more than 3 reasons to support this report. One is the fact that this is a professional who has mastery in law. We still need lawyers, people, the legal people or the legal officers in this county, so as to guide us on legal matters. So she fits to be in this particular board. Secondly, is the fact that she's a mother. She understands all aspects or the cross-cutting issues that are affecting our women. So I think our women are safe now. Those who are in market, those who are in business here in town, we feel we have somebody who will represent us and represent our issues correctly. And thirdly, she owns a business. She is an entrepreneur, and she owns a business, a school within the municipality. So this person understands this town more than anyone else. She understands the challenges, the strengths that this county have, and therefore she fits to be in this particular board. So I rise to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I also rise to support the report that this House adopts the report on the nomination of Mercy Korir Mutai to the position of the member of the board, the Kericho County, the Kericho Municipal Board. Mr. Speaker, as my colleagues have said, this is a very young, brilliant lawyer whose skills are required in this board for a number of issues to be put straight. Mr. Speaker, I was very particular while we went round the municipality. We went to Kapsoit, Nyagacho. Here in Kericho, we went to Kapsusel. One of the things that came out clearly is there is a high level of encroachment into the public land. And Mr. Speaker, now that we have the municipal board, it's a requirement by law. And one of the things that this municipal board does is also to ensure a number of assets within the municipality is safeguarded. Mr. Speaker, I support the governor having picked this youthful lady, and I also support the committee on lands for having vetted the nominee and approved. So that's why we have the report before the House. Mr. Speaker, this is the best. When we have this board properly constituted, as the chairman said, we have a number of funds coming to this county, and particularly to the municipality, for a number of things to happen. I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, with the composition of this board and having intellectual as Mercy, it will be an opportunity for this board to expend any resource within its disposal for the success of the municipality. As I end, Mr. Speaker, I must challenge this House. You can imagine such an important report. I know, Mr. Speaker, you're blind from where you're seated. But you can imagine this important report was not going to proceed because of the quorum. Standing order number 38, Mr. Speaker, demands that we should be around 16 in this house. And as it is, Mr. Speaker, that quorum may not be there. Not because there are members who are here and they are outside. For this proceeding to continue, we need to have the right quorum. And failure to which, Mr. Speaker, we will not be transacting serious business as this. I want to challenge the leadership. The majority leader who is here, the whip. It's about time. One of the things that made me think so far is even a court case in Wajir that is trying to return the plenary sittings allowance. Now, how are these members going to get that money if, we keep absconding our sessions? I want to challenge the leadership, Mr. Speaker, that we have to have most of us in this house for us to transact such important businesses. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support the report. Thank you.
Thank you. And since the issue of quorum has been raised, the chair has noted that, and I would like to ask the clerk at the table to confirm if we have numbers. If we don't, we will have to ring the bell to ensure that we have the right membership. Right? Chair Lands, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the House, Mr. Speaker, that during the onset of the motion, the quorum was there, and I think the members just stepped out for short calls, but the quorum was there.
All right. Nevertheless, since we are going to the tail end of the discussion, I would still request the Sergeant at Arms to check at the command room with their members. Let them be called in here as I give to the next majority leader to contribute, because we want to ensure that when we subject this to a vote, we have quorum with the majority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity you've given me, Mr. Speaker, to contribute on the motion before the House, Mr. Speaker. First, I must say I second this motion, Mr. Speaker, or else I support. I think the two terms are equal, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our municipal board cannot work when the members are not full in the board, Mr. Speaker. I always associate the same with the three stands of any ladder, Mr. Speaker, that when one is broken, the same ladder, Mr. Speaker, will not be in a position to support somebody, Mr. Speaker, as he climbs or as he comes down, Mr. Speaker. This one, Mr. Speaker, with the knowledge, with the experience and expertise in this candidate, Mr. Speaker, one Mrs. Masichip Koreru Motai, I know the municipal board, Mr. Speaker, will be in a position to work effectively. More so, Mr. Speaker, as said by my colleagues who spoke prior to me, Mr. Speaker, that our legal expertise or our legal experience, Mr. Speaker, would be in one way or another assisting the board to steer their daily activities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know we are all aware that at this time we are almost, the committee together with the county government, Mr. Speaker, are almost completing the issue associated with the Chelimo, Mr. Speaker, that will be in a position to develop several institutions together with several companies, Mr. Speaker, that one will be producing medicine, will be manufacturing medicine here in Kericho, Mr. Speaker. And I know with the new blood that will be injected to the municipal board, Mr. Speaker, we will be in a position to go far. Finally, Mr. Speaker, because I have had the opportunity, maybe I can call it a right of reply to one honorable teacher of oil, Mr. Speaker, a representative of Sigawa Edward, Mr. Speaker. One thing I always tell people is the self-discipline, the self-driving mechanism that should be in a person, Mr. Speaker. I know I'm in leadership today, Mr. Speaker, but I'm not in a position to push anybody to this house, Mr. Speaker, not unless the Pro Teacher are going together with other honorable members will give us the power, Mr. Speaker, to instill maybe a discipline, Mr. Speaker, to those who would be missing this house, Mr. Speaker. But I know if today I'll propose the same, Mr. Speaker, he will be the first member, Mr. Speaker, to pose some even impeachment on me, Mr. Speaker.